Ooh. The many monsters of this island fear that the windfish is about to awaken. The monster's power is real. They may conquer the island and destroy their foes. That day may come soon. Now go, boat, to the mountain tower. Fly like a bird. Woohoo! Oh, I guess we do want the Mola Mola one. So we can do a couple of things. Let's go back to the town at least for a little bit.
I think the other issue with Other M, it was made not long after the Metroid Prime trilogy had finished and then had its re-release and whatnot. So
Was Other M also a retro game?
yeah, it was Ninja.
Oh.
Ninja
Theory?
I think something like that. Or all I know is that Retro did all of the Prime series. And then another studio that was most noted for its sort of like anime themed fighter stuff did Other M, but their aesthetic was more of it was like a 3D version of a Metroidvania. But I'd actually really enjoyed the first-person shooter aspect of... Oh, that's interesting. So is it like a chicken? Oh, bring dead things alive. Uh-oh. What are you vivifying?
Necromancy.
Oh, no! Oh, is that the rooster everyone's looking for? The rooster has been recovered. He seems very friendly.
This is uncomfortable.
Oh, wait. Oh, is that where he was buried?
Yep.
Where are you gonna give him to?
Heck if I know.
Or, oh, this is how you fly. He actually has some lift. This is probably what the owl meant by fly to the top of the tower.
I have no idea. I don't really know where I'm supposed to use this thing. Because... maybe right there?
Maybe there's a gap or something somewhere up there.
Tower's over here, though.
True. But you probably have to go from left to right all the way over. And also, look, there's a ranch. The hens don't much seem to care that he's returned. I wonder if there are any other dead creatures that you can play the song for.
Maybe? Okay, people are saying explore around the castle. Well, while we're here, we might as well drop off some seashells.
If we have enough for the next tier.
Pretty sure we don't.
Because that was a substantial gap.
Oh. I have a lot, though. That's a lot more than I was expecting, honestly.
At least you have the shell detector.
Okay. So explore around the castle with this sucker?
You can do that. Then again, have you ever swum in the moat? After having...
Not really, no. Get there.
Because it looks like there's access to a moat, but...
Yeah, we can, I don't know what the rooster's gonna...
the rooster's gonna do when you... Oh, he's just gonna fly over the water.
Okay. Oh.
Or fly you over the water.
Okay, so I can't do that. Well, he's faster than swimming. So, Panic Bird is maximum transportation.
Was there a way to get to the second floor of the castle?
If there's anything there, we should keep an eye on it. Yeah, we've gone to the second floor of the castle. I just don't remember if there's anything there. Can you stop wiggling your feet?
Like this?
Yeah, you're like wiggling your feet a little bit, and it's actually like making me nervous.
I was just wiggling a toe. I can cover them with the blankie, and then you will not see them. Fingers and toes are peculiar things, especially when you see them on other people, because they're all so varied. Oh, hey!
There it is.
Art pace.
But I'm pretty sure we didn't need the rooster to get over here. Because we could have just swam around the back, I think.
There's probably something up top that you can fly to.
Oh, there's absolutely something right there.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Still wonder how he came to die in that cave.
And why he was just buried in there?
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, he was under that spot.
Yeah, but like, they totally just...
No one knew where he was?
Yeah.
He just disappeared, they said. Watch it be like that chicken that died in the feeder.
Just jammed itself down in.
Wander has a... I suppose he's told the story many a time. Where his relatives were raising chickens, and one day all the chickens started to avoid the feed.
Yeah, they stopped eating entirely because, what do you know? The missing chicken had jammed itself so far up the feeder.
It was just caught in there and preventing any of the feed from coming out.
Okay, so we didn't need the rooster for that. Oh, that stump wasn't there in the original. Okay, so we straight up don't need the, we don't need the rooster. So is that the only, like, specific rooster-related thing other than the bridges, probably?
We probably want to take the rooster up into the mountains with us.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
if the rooster sticks with us long enough...
I mean, I'm assuming it's got a short lease on life. Those eyeballs look like they're about to go.
Whoop. I like the little feather in his wake. Yep.
As they go. Poor rooster's just gonna be bald by the time we're done.
I wonder how long it takes for a bird to grow a new feather after they've shed one.
Interesting question.
Because it's said that humans lose about 50 plus hairs a day. And that might be head hair. But that can't be right. I do know that I pull out about, ooh, how many strands of hair a day? Just from untangling my hair and finding all the loose ones.
Oh, soon. Your path is not easy, but you're almost there. Go east, the windfish is getting restless.
Is the rooster unable to follow? Or nope, he's making his way up the ladder. Good job, rooster.
We kind of talked about this last time of, like, you know, if you knew waking this creature would...
Destroy the world?
Yeah, would you?
in a way, isn't it like the Matrix?
Kinda.
But in the Matrix, everyone had a living counterpart in the real world, but the real world was just terrible. So do you want to remain in the dream, or do you want to wake up and return to reality? Now, you would be dooming everyone else besides yourself? Or what if you found out that you were a denizen of the dream? Would you be willing to destroy yourself?
Yeah.
Though, something odd about what the owl said before. He said something along the lines of the monsters are preparing to take over the world or something?
I think the monsters want to stop us because they know they're imaginary as well. Let's see. I think the people probably don't know or only have an inkling of it.
It begs the question of, if Link decided to perpetually stay in this dream realm, would he age and die and would everyone else age and die, or would they stay perpetually young and he would be the outlier that he's just ephemeral?
I wish we actually kind of got that as a,
But then, would everything and every accomplishment that you ever make, would it really be your own, or would it be a product of the dream? Because would your actions have any lasting impact? In spite of the dream? Because you're the only one that could interact with it in a way that isn't predetermined by the dreamer? Or is it... It's hard to describe. Oh.
Okay, so I gotta go up higher.
Oh, there's a hole up there. It's another well.
Yeah, just gotta figure out how to jump in. Can I go in this waterfall? No. We couldn't do this last time.
Yeah, of course, there go people go spoiling. I suppose it's in the title, but still. They keep saying it's the wind fish that's the dreamer.
Ah! Damn it, Rooster. Okay.
Hey, I'm trying to... I know that I've watched an old movie or an episode of Star Trek that had this plot. I'm just trying to think of it. I suppose the whole premise of the majority of Star Trek episodes involved going to a new planet, encountering some people's alien or near human that dwelled there. There'd be something wrong intrinsically with their society or with something that they were dealing with, and you were tasked to, well, the crew of the Enterprise had to combat it. And sometimes it would be something as... It would be something similar to what was occurring, well, what is occurring in this, where there's some kind of entity or denizen that has a measure of control of the people that might even extend into the supernatural. And often you have to ask, well, the crew has to ask themselves, do we allow this to continue as it always has, or do we intervene. Which is funny because part of the Prime Directive is that you don't intervene with races that haven't achieved space travel yet. In particular, don't have the technology. But often, they were at odds with the Supreme Being. Oh! I remember, one of them. Mm-hmm.
We just keep getting rupees. I don't care so much for spare rupees.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember the title of the episode. Oh, found another secret seashell. But there was one where there was this playful being, and he had made this luxurious mansion and sort of like a cast of supporting characters. And he had invited some crew members that he had taken from the Enterprise into his abode, and he was essentially using them as his toys because he was so lonely and such. Was it like... Was he the Count or the Baron or the... I might want to look this up. He was almost like a Q character. If you're familiar with the Next Generation, most of the episodes that I recall from my youth are from the original series. But he was essentially inviting them to live out this dream, this fantasy. And granted, they had something to go back to. They had the...
You are near the eagle's tower. Beware of the bird.
Because of the eagle.
But yeah, I don't know if I was in Link's position if I'd have the heart to wake the windfish necessarily.
Okay.
Like other plots I've seen that are kind of in this same vein have it that like the world's kind of fallen apart anyway, and you kind of have to wake it, otherwise it all falls to this like weird nightmare instead. But I find this one's kind of weak. If only because it's just like, here's all these like adorable characters that you're kind of endeared to. I mean, luckily they don't like really make you interact with them for the most part, but if I was still just in this like weird situation of like, yeah, all these people effectively would cease to exist because I woke the creature dreaming them up. I mean, I guess there's the question of are they even real, but... what to do to get that open?
Sorry if I'm quiet, I'm just trying to look it up.
Oh, dig. There we go. There's the warp point I was looking for. Let's see, I'm still doing good. Perfect. Okay, into the pit.
I think there was also another episode, I think it was probably the Shore Leave one, where they go down to this planet, and the planet has these machines that specifically create the object of your desires. So they ended up having things like knights fighting members of the Enterprise and such, and it was just people's dreams and fantasies becoming real. And I think they're like, why would you ever want to leave, when they actually found the people that controlled the machines. And I'm pretty sure Kirk made a very long speech about how it pales in comparison to the... Probably, I don't want to say like the challenge, of reality, but let's see. Maybe it was from season 2.
Shell, you might like the Stargate series. We enjoyed the Stargate series up until like season 5 or 6, and then we got kind of bored. It's good stuff, don't get us wrong. It's just very...
I had seen the original movie, and then, yeah, some seasons with Wander, and then when I was a kid, I also watched the animated series.
I never watched the animated series. I watched a bunch of SG-1. The problem is just, like, in general, it very, like... It was weird. It's like... I think the Goa'uld were too... consistent, maybe? I don't know. I'd have to go back and rewatch, but the time expenditure to finish SG-1. It just felt like a series that after a while started jumping sharks, and the sharks were cool as shit, don't get me wrong. It was just, like, easy to lose my connection to the series as a result. I think they also had to, like, switch protagonists around and some other things. Like, if I remember right, the original main character had, like, mental health problems.
Oh, I think it might be this one. Yeah. The Squire of Gothos is the one I'm thinking of.
I guess Stargate SG-1 would almost be perfect if they remade it with similar plots, but, like, dialed it down so it was only X number of seasons. I have this problem with a lot of shows and stuff where it's just like, hey, we have this golden goose of a series, we're gonna milk it until it's done. With, like, no real consideration for whether or not this is a good idea or if it actually makes it, good. I think, yeah, SG-1 was kind of weird in the middle and then it got better. I think it's because they realized they had to finish it, so they started trying to do so.
It's always unfortunate because they're the series that go on for a long time, but they had some story arcs that they needed to finish, and then when it drags on too long, they say, oh, you have to finish this up. Then what they were slowly trying to build up to... Well, actually, I suppose we
had
just,
that
like,
problem with Voltron
filler
recently.
episodes.
Because we really liked the Voltron series once we got into it. Ah, there's the bird key.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I might be able to pick up these big boulders now? No, I can't.
I mean, ideally in every episode you learn more about the characters. There's some growth, character growth, and then they enact change in the overall world or universe. I suppose if you go back to Star Trek, an older television series though, they were very episodic, where you had contained adventures that began and ended. And maybe the characters would have progress with their interpersonal relationships that would carry over into the next episodes, but overall, they largely fulfilled a particular role. But now, yes, there's definitely an emphasis on long-form narratives. Pushing all that out. Yep, there you go. Now you can get across. Oh, you're gonna need the rooster for this, aren't you? There you go. You got the bird key.
Yeah, we really liked Babylon 5.
We got up until, what was it? That one guy betrayed them. Then we lost interest then and there.
We lost interest because they switched main characters. And it just started to get weird.
Also, didn't one of the characters undergo a bizarre metamorphosis that made her look more like a human?
And like a couple other things. It wasn't necessarily bad, it was very sci-fi. It just felt like they were trying to keep it going for longer than it needed to be. And that made it a problem.
Well, I think one thing that hindered Babylon 5 was, didn't everything take place on the space station?
Mostly, yeah.
It's fine for the most part to have a...
See, the original captain only signed up for the first year in Babylon 5. He also had extreme mental illness problems. Like, I think he was either dementia or schizophrenia that did him in, but like you could tell for the episodes where he kind of come back that something was kind of wrongish with him. It's not an uncommon story that these kind of middle-aged or Silver Age actors succumb to some kind of mental illness along the way. Still haven't been in this building. I will finally go in this time.
Yep. Oh, is that a minecart? Or just boxes full of ore?
Dunno. Oh, it's Luigi.
Yeah.
Whoa! Amazing! That rooster's actually flying! It's just like I said, have you tried to hold him over your head? Cluck, cluck!
Where is that? Oh, is it the well? Can you go in the well?
No.
No. Unless maybe you go off the edge. Or you can't go off the edge.
Yeah, I can't. How the heck am I supposed to do that?
Maybe you throw a bomb into it?
Warehouse 13 not worth mentioning. Warehouse 13 was rad. Same thing with Eureka. Both went on too long.
Yeah. Fire in the hole! Woo!
Oh, so that's how we get that other seashell, by the way.
There we go. Aren't I clever?
There you go.
No acknowledgement.
So we'll have to go back to that other hole. And bomb it out, too.
Surprised the shells don't get shattered.
They're secret seashells. They're special. Oh, dang it. Ech. But no, Warehouse 13 and Eureka, I think, also had the same problem, where they had really neat plots and really interesting ideas, but they would have been better served by taking some of those neat ideas and like moving them off into like its own show almost.
I also only watched a little bit of X-Files and Supernatural. I'm trying to think of other things.
Oh, crap, all this out. I guess we'll go back for it.
Whoa! Falling rocks!
Oh.
Watch it. Get back, Rooster! He's unfazed.
He does not care.
I've already died once!
Yeah, he has no fear of death. He knows what awaits beyond. But yeah, like I was saying, just like, a lot of these shows feel like they would have been better off. Yep, there it is. Well, I can't get back.
Wait, what was up?
Oh, I can't go up.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm stuck down here. But better served by saying, here's gonna be the plot for the 5 seasons that we're running, and then if we want to keep going, it has to be its own separate thing. I was reading about, what was it? Gravity Falls, the Disney
Yeah.
one about the twin boy and girl and their like crazy uncle and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And
There you go.
apparently the reason why it was a relatively short series is because, yeah, the person in charge of writing it was just like, Yeah, I don't want to go... Like, I don't want this series to go on, like, too long. I wanted to have a conclusive ending. I was like, I kind of want more series to do that.
Yeah, I always liked watching series that were between 1 and 3 seasons. And I know that some series of Star Trek got to be 7. It was pretty insane. But I don't want to say that people can... Well, the writers of the shows eventually become bankrupt for unique ideas. But you're always going to have new sources of conflict. Oh, there you go. Oh, more arrows.
Yep, I'm not even reading it anymore. I got cursed.
And that's the other thing, too. Do you prefer the series where there's one overarching villain and some minor villains? And everything eventually builds up to defeating the big bad? Or do you prefer the series where there's a villain, they defeat it, there's another villain, they defeat it, there's another villain, they defeat it, and maybe...
It depends on how it's handled, but usually I prefer it if it's all building up to something, or there's like a very clear arc. Okay, well I can't go that way.
Yep. Yeah, and another thing is I've been watching The Walking Dead, and at this point, the only reason why I'm invested in watching it is to see who dies next, or how, and if they're actually going to get any closer to finally building a secure society, or better yet, why isn't there a push to eventually find a cure for this thing? Or...
Because personal drama sells better. Like, I can guarantee for you, the graphic novels for Walking Dead might end in a okay manner, but...
Well, I think they're even going to have a separate series, because...
Well, yeah, they've branched heavily, because I think Glenn...
No, Grimes. Rick Grimes. Like, the actor said, I don't want to be away from England too long.
Oh.
So, he actually got carted away and is going to have a separate side series. That's why there's the Rick Grimes video game coming out eventually. Remember?
Yeah.
And at this point, Carl is gone. And I know that you're gonna... I don't want to say be grateful.
I mean, it's
that
nice.
He has been, but Carl can only take so many memes.